Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. It's the last video of our Super Bowl show, and we saved the headliner. We had all the opening acts, and here he is, the Prez.
Why do I get one episode, one video? I fly down from Toronto. I am the co-founder of WagerTalk, and I get no play.
That's what got you one.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, how many tweets are asking for the Prez?
That's why you got one. Your wife tweeted out. She wanted to make sure you were being paid.
Wow, all these IPs are the same. That's odd.
Those who don't know, this is Lawrence Prezman. We affectionately call him the Prez. He is the co-founder of WagerTalk. He's the guy that made all of this happen by reaching out to me and getting the ball rolling, and we started talking, and here we are with WagerTalk. What are we, 18, 19 months later, and very happy.
Doing unbelievable, and it's best demonstrated, my personality, by how I'm never in videos. I just let my talent do the talking. The arrogance from my youth just washed over me.
I think we could bring all the guests back in and have a debate on that one. What do you think, Johnny?
You don't want to hear what I have to say.
All right, enough about praising you. Let's get to, there's a Super Bowl on Sunday, and we want to get your opinion as we've got everybody else's, and you brought us a few props, and you've had a nice run in the playoffs.
8-1.
8-1 in the playoffs. Congratulations on that, and you can find your picks at WagerTalk.com. And tell us a couple props you like here for Sunday.
Well, the thing for me when looking at props, and I went 9-1 on my props last year and 8-2 the year before, so I actually take these props pretty seriously. But this year, you know, I knew I was coming on the show, and I really wanted to look for props with big money opportunities for us. So from my perspective, my favorite long shot prop, if you will, is no turnovers plus 1,200. I feel that you have to have a reason to take these long shot props. And I think you could make an argument. Sure, Carolina has forced turnovers all year round. I think Peyton Manning is going to throw short. I think there's going to be a lot of running in the game from both sides, which create fumbles, but less fumbles. Usually, if you're throwing the ball more, there's going to be more turnovers. I feel like plus 1,200 is really good value on no turnovers. Just like I feel like plus 170, Peyton Manning, no interceptions. I think that's a legitimate bet. And a crazy bet, if you will, Greg Olsen scoring 3 touchdowns or more, plus 5,000. I mean, Greg Olsen is a scoring machine. Down the middle, if you think Carolina is going to put up points, and they've put up points all year, Greg Olsen could have an absolute breakout game. And for him to have a breakout game, I mean, he's, what, the second best tight end in the league?
I can't argue with you there. Those are some big numbers. And you get one of those home, you'll be happy on Sunday. Do you have a favorite prop that you're going to be putting some money on?
Well, my favorite prop period is a minus 120, and it's Greg Olsen over 67.5 yards. You know, you could talk about Ted Ginn and the rest of the wide receiving core, but they don't get a lot of touches. Ted Ginn is going to get 3 or 4 catches. They could be long, but when push comes to shove, Greg Olsen is the #1 receiver on that team. He's down the middle all the time, and just like Kelsey, he's getting long catches. Like Greg Olsen is catching 23, 25-yard receptions. I see over 100 yards for him. I think they're going to go to him all game long, and I think the way Denver's defense is set up with their safeties being injured, I think the hole in Denver's defense is right behind that incredible linebacking core. I think their cornerbacks are rock solid. I think they're going to be pressuring Cam Newton all the time. Their only spot that's really weak for Denver is right behind the linebackers, and that's Greg Olsen territory.
All right, well, good reasoning on that. Johnny, you got anything you want to share for prop for Sunday?
Well, I think you should look at the Super Bowl, and not to take away, you know, Brian's a straight math guy, positive EV, and his brain just doesn't look at like the degen aspect. And I said this on the podcast with Scott. Don't be afraid to just take some stupid props because you're at a party or you're at a sports book or whatever. you know, if you're taking, say, if you do like Denver and you take the under, then you probably would ignore everything he said because you're not going to want to root for Greg Olson to score. You know, even though it doesn't say what he said made sense or there's an edge, the Prez.
Thank you, brother.
Makes sense. At the same time, if you're more of a recreational or you're just having the good time, like don't be afraid just to piss away some money on some fun props. Looking at the ones that I think there's some edges on, goes back to what Cheetah, and we talked about this last night on the air, is I like Kevin Durant -2.5. This is at the CG properties to score more than the Carolina Panthers. One, they're playing the Warriors. Two, it's going to be a fast-paced game. As Cheetah said, he's looking at that total to be in the 230s. And he has scored more points against the Golden State Warriors in his career than he has anybody else in the NBA besides the Pacers. He's put up 30-something points a game every single time on average when he's played them. So I think that's a good prop. And then the last ones for me is the first quarter's historically lower scoring. They're conservative. They're feeling each other out. I'm a big fan of the Denver linebacking core. I think Cam Newton's first rush under 5.5 is a good play. And I also think the yes-no on Carolina to score punt first, I think you got to take punt first over score. So those are my props from Johnny.
All right, we got to wrap it up here. I'll throw one prop out. I haven't given anything yet. I'm going to take a crossover prop. The LA Clippers first half on Sunday, they're playing the Miami Heat, -3.5 over the total points in the Super Bowl. And given that I agree, I think it's going to be a lower scoring Super Bowl. Everybody that we've willed through here today seems to agree with the under. If you look at the Clippers, 9 of their last 12 games, they've scored over 100 points, which the Clippers without Blake Griffin play at a faster pace without him in the lineup. In Miami, uncharacteristically, 4 of the last 5 games, they have scored over 100 points. So if I get that kind of pace, we'll have 50 points or more with the Clippers, which in essence sets us up for the Super Bowl for an under 50, which I would like. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Clippers -3.5 over total points scored in the Super Bowl. Last thought, anybody as we send it out?
That's all. Visit WagerTalk.com. I've got a big play on tomorrow. I love my pick for the Super Bowl tomorrow, and I've got 10 props that come with it. I'm excited, and I'm going to be sharing the Super Bowl with you and Vegas Chris and the bald man on my right.
Brian Leonard. We got
Brian Leonard. This is going to be a fun Sunday.
Those stonewashed jeans.
No, acid wash. I'm hip to the 80s. I'm hip to the 80s.
All right. These two guys with talking fashion, Mr. Puma over there. Johnny Detroit, the Prez. Yours truly, Marco D'Angelo. Check out all the videos at WagerTalk.com. And don't forget, every Tuesday at WagerTalk, you can have $2 Tuesday. And don't forget, $10 off this weekend, Super 10. The word Super and 10, put the number 10 in there. You'll get $10 off your package when you enter it in the shopping cart. We'll be back next week. Good luck. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Cash some tickets, guys.